My name is in Korean Kim Yoon-ji.
He is also the head of the environment design.
Good morning, distinguished guests, participants, ladies and gentlemen. We are delighted to welcome you to the Siam Bayshore Resort, Pattaya, Thailand, for the opening ceremony of the International Conference on Culture Technology 2019. I am Intiraporn Moolasas. I am an organizing committee from Kasetsart University. I am your MC in this session. We will start the opening ceremony by presenting the Blessing Dance, which is a unique Thailand art performance to greet, bless, and offer good wishes to all of you. Please experience Thai culture. Thank you very much. I hope you enjoy this show and make you more energetic, okay? Now, we are going to listen to the opening speech delivered by Professor Pyong Kim, the president of the International Association for Convergent Science and Technology, or ICCT. Currently, Professor Kim is the head of Convergence Engineering in the Graduate School of Silla University of Korea. He is the founder of this association who has been working so hard in building a network of collaboration between several universities and industry in many countries such as Thailand, China, Japan, Korea, Vietnam, Indonesia, India, USA, and Malaysia. Professor Kim makes this association growing bigger and stronger every year, as reflecting by the increasing number of the directors or representatives of each country who join this association. In the past 4 years, he has been organizing many workshops, symposiums, and the ICCT conferences in Chiang Mai, Tokyo, Chongqing, China, and Pattaya, Thailand in this year. Please welcome Professor Pyong Kim.
Good morning, everyone. Too big. I didn't know she prepared such a big introduction. Thank you, Dr. Intirafon. It is my, again, great honor and pleasure to welcome all of you to ICCT 2019 in the beautiful city of Pattaya, Thailand. Whenever I meet scholars and my dear friends from 11 countries, it is difficult to fully express my heart of joy. First, I want to thank the special people who gave valuable help in making this conference happen. I thank Vice President Dr. Puchong Uttayapas of Kasat University and Chairman Dr. Chai Utiviwa Chai of NECTEC for giving wonderful help and support hosting this conference. I always want to express my deep gratitude for Chairman Dr. Kwang Myeon-won of the National Research Council of Science and Technology, South Korea, and Dr. Sugiyama of the Oriental Consultants Global, Japan, who are also our most respected advisors and most also enthusiastic scholars too. I want to let everyone know that this event would not be possible without the devoted service and the passion of the organizing chairs. Dr. Intirafon Molasastra of Kasetsat University, Thailand, and Dr. Depchai Sumniti of NECTEC, Thailand, and Dr. Taesuyun of Dongsa University, South Korea. I apologize for not mentioning all people who gave their important time and energy and ideas to help prepare this wonderful meeting. Since the financial crisis, the polarization of wealth has become more serious in most countries, and it is one of the serious social problems we face. In addition, we see more and more people and countries becoming self-centered and even selfish. Today, justice threatened to become an outdated value found only in textbooks. And financial gain is becoming our daily justice. Moreover, I see different types of polarization happening, which will be intensified every year. I am afraid that intergenerational differences might bring another polarization among the new and older generations. It is becoming harder to be understood cross-generationally. A steep change in value systems and the rapid development of high technology are making communication harder between generations. However, I think we will soon see more serious polarizations among individuals, companies, and even countries. The difference of efficiency and productivity between those who can understand and utilize AI technology well, and others who do not, can bring substantial polarization too. I want to call this AI polarization. As intelligence machines take over many human positions and even roles, we cannot avoid facing steep differences between those who have technology and those who do not. How can it solve all these polarizations? How can we better consider our neighbors and neighboring countries? The answer can be found in understanding and teaching the value of humanity and empathy. Humanity and empathy are the key factors in making people conscientious of the environment and of other people. They are also two important keys to building creativity and convergence. Every year, through our annual meeting, we gather here to contribute to our global society by exchanging research, creative perspectives, and academic insights into discipline convergence. Also, we want to provide advanced and quality education to the young generation, seeking global cooperation and friendship too. We all know that one person's intelligence and understanding is limited in depth and width, but much greater creativity and excellence come from cooperative convergence among people from different disciplines. Today, in addition to these values, I hope we become more sympathetic toward our neighbors and focus on creative education to resolve polarization difficulties. This is why young students and the older scholars meet together through ISCC exhibition. This is why we different but creative disciplines meet together through CADI exhibition. This is also why I strongly want more disciplines, including humanities, to join for better understanding at the ICCT conference. I hope IACST and these events serve as a truly meaningful platform for finding and sharing fruitful convergence technology, creative development, and even the resolution to polarization. Please enjoy all the events and programs and have a wonderful time in Pattaya, Thailand. Thank you very much.
Ladies and gentlemen, next, our organizing committee, Dr. Thepachai Subtaniti from NECTEC Thailand, will give a welcome message to all of you. Please welcome Dr. Thepachai.
Professor Pyong-Ki Kim, President of International Association for Convergence Science and Technology. Professor Kwang Yun Won, Chairperson of National Research Council of Science and Technology. Professor Puchong Uttayopat, Vice President, Kasetsart University, and Dr. Chai, Executive Director of National Electronics and Computer Technology Center. All participants who joined ICCT in 2019. First of all, I would like to welcome you to ICCT 2019 in Pattaya in this year. It is the second time that ICCT come to Thailand. The ICCT is hosted by Department of Engineering, Kasetsart University, and National Electronics and Computer Technology Center. With the great support from International Association of Convergent Science and Technology, Chiang Mai University, and Silvakron University. In this year, we set a conference theme, Convergence for Creativity. We also have a joint event with Convergence Art and Design International 2019, or CADI 2019. The conference have a very fruitful topics, not only technology, but also art and design perspectives. This combination is very unique and will definitely open a new dimensions of idea and thinking, which is necessary for getting a new innovation. There are very few chances for gathering both researchers from technology field and art and design field. It is a great opportunity for technology meet creativities as we set the theme Convergence for Creativity. I hope this opportunity will enable all of you have fruitful discussion, explore new ideas, lead to make collaboration, and have a good friendship. Pattaya has a lot of interesting things such as Sanctuary of Truth, museum which is the world's largest and most beautiful world crafting architecture, or you can easily go to the Land Islands, one of the most beautiful beach in the island in the Pattaya. Please find the time to explore your experience outside conference meeting too. Finally, I would like to thank all your participation who joined in ICCT 2019. Your contribution makes this conference successful. I hope you will have a fruitful discussion, make your friendship, and also have enjoy staying in Pattaya. Thank you.
Dr. Thepachai is from NECTEC, who's a co-local host with Kasetsart University. He is a principal researcher and head of research team in language and semantic technology and AI research unit of NECTEC Thailand. Thank you very much. And next, we are going to listen to the congratulatory message, which will be delivered by Professor Puchong Uttayopat. Professor Puchong is a Vice President of Information in Kasetsart University. He is responsible for digital strategy and execution of KU digital transformation and IT operation. Dr. Puchong's main research interest is in high-performance computing, cloud parallel computing, where he published more than 160 papers. He is one of the 2 key opinion leaders representing Thailand in Asian HPC task force that responsible for architecting shared Asian supercomputing infrastructure. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Professor Puchong Uttayopat.
Thank you. President of ICCT, the chairman of National Research Council of Science and Technology of Korea, our distinguished guest, speaker and participant. It is my great pleasure and honor to be here and welcome you all to ICCT 2019. I start a little bit slow because I talk from my heart. No script. All right. So I want to tell you that it is a very delightful. I spent a few minutes walk outside and look at the work, interact with students, see a lot of interesting and beautiful things. Why we need to have ICCT 2019? Because we are in the era that technology advancement is so rapidly changing the world, our society, our culture, and then it's create a new, very new thing in our human society. But any technology without culture is like a body without a heart and mind. It is difficult for such technology to really contribute and serving humanity. So it is the interaction between advanced technology that changing our society and culture, and also society and culture is the source of inspiration that driving the technological advancement to better serve humanity. And this tightly interaction need to be well understand to actually create technology that beautiful and really serving us, rather than the technology that can lead to some destructive effect. That's why I feel that ICCT, which is the cultural technology, is so important and timely, because we need a forum to have a scholar. I am consider myself old generation, young generation, and youngest generation, to be together and interact and talk and share idea and experience and inspiration on how we can actually create technology that driving the new culture, and also how the cultural perspective can help shaping the future of us, our future society. So I think this is an immensely important thing that need to be addressed in today's world. And I'm also, on behalf of Kasetsart University, we are very proud to be part of this significant event, to actually participate from the beginning, help organizing this conference due to the good work of many friends, Dr. Somchok, Dr. Intirapon, and many numerous people behind the scene, Dr. Tepachai as well. He went to the same high school as me. Kind of interesting relationship. So anyway, we will continue our participation, because this is really important to have such a forum in the world. I believe that we will see the bright future for ICCT under the leadership of ICCT. Thank you very much for that. And also, I wish you fun, friendship, and good time in Thailand. Thailand is one of the best places to enjoy. It's a kind of blending with the cultural excitement and many things. So thank you again for all the effort that everybody spent in putting together this wonderful conference, and good luck and have a fruitful collaboration.
Other than he's expert in cloud computing, he also a cat lover, and he loves photography very much. And next, we are continue our session to the next agenda, that is to hear the first keynote speech, which will be delivered by Dr. Kwang Yun Won. Dr. Kwang Yun Won is the chairman of National Research Council of Science and Technology, or NST. NST is the government organization that oversees the 25 major national research institutes in South Korea. He was a professor at Korea Advanced Institute of Science and Technology, or KAIST, for 27 years. He completed the master's study at the University of Wisconsin, USA, and PhD study at University of Maryland, USA as well. He is a founder of the Graduate School of Culture Technology of KAIST. Major activities and accomplishments of Professor Kwang Yun Won include Director of Virtual Reality Research Center and founding President of Korean Society of Human-Computer Interaction. In addition, founding President of Korean Society of Performing Arts and editorial board of British Computer Society. While his research interests span a broad range of the intersection between art and science, from theoretical aspects to practicalities. Professor Won focuses his research efforts to the application of virtual reality technology to various cultural artifacts, such as stage performances, museum exhibitions, and educational contents. Ladies and gentlemen, Please welcome Dr. Kwang Yun Won.
Yes. Can you see me? No? Can't? Oh, the flower. Okay. Why don't I just move the flower just for the time being, and I will put them right after my presentation. Is that better? Because we need eye contact, right? Yeah. The presentation is not just a one-way things. It's a two-way communication. So I would like to establish the eye contact between you guys and myself. All right, so let's see. First of all, I'm more than delighted and honored to be here. First of all, I'm very grateful to Professor Byung-ki Kim, who is the president of this organization, and all the members of the International Association of Convergence Science and Technology, for inviting me here and allowing another opportunity. In fact, this is the third opportunity to deliver my keynote presentation. Let's see. Okay, let me just move back a little bit. So this is the title of my presentation today. Maybe just most of you may guess what the A stand for. Yes, art. And T, yes, technology. And D for design. And what about the another D? Well, this time the D is going to be democracy. In fact, that has something to do with what Professor Kim just mentioned at the opening remark: empathy, right, and justice, and the distribution of wealth, okay, and happiness all together. So that is what I'm going to talk about today. But 2 years ago, when I first came to the conference, the second ICCT held in Tokyo, at the time, the title of the keynote was Culture Technology in the Age of Fourth Industrial Revolution. At the time, my message was that each industrial revolution is characterized by a specific media. Well, first industrial revolution, what is the major type of media? It's a printed media, right? Novels, books, and newspapers. And the second industrial revolution, it was electronic media, like radio and television. Okay, that characterized the era of the second industrial revolution. And then what about the third industrial revolution? It was digital media. Yes? Web, internet, and mobile. And then at the time, for the fourth industrial revolution, which is just about to come, digital media and digital content and digital platform, they will be integrated as one entity, which we can call hybrid media. That was my message 2 years ago. And last year, the title of my presentation was 10 Unsolved Problems in HCI. What does HCI stand for? It's usually, it means human-computer interaction. Okay, but I generalized the concept of HCI to stand for human culture interaction, because the computer is a kind of the igniting thing, okay, that actually establish a particular culture. Now, today, as I said, it's going to be art, technology, and design, and democracy. And I will go through why I think that art, technology, and design have something to do with democracy. Right? But okay, let's go back a little bit. But let me just ask you a question. Are you still active in the field, or how many of you are retired already? No one? Right, then the next question. Do you have a retirement plan? No? Retirement plan? Not yet? Okay, it's a shame, right? Because, you know, I retired 3 years ago, right? And when I was still active, my plan, my retirement plan, was that I wanted to become a photographer, okay, after I retire. And I had that dream. I kept that dream for a long time. But suddenly, that plan was kind of elusive. Okay? I broke my dream because of this guy. Do you know who he is? His name is Wei Min-jin, a very famous Chinese painter these days. These are some of his paintings. Okay? Very, very expensive. Now, many years ago, I had an opportunity to collaborate with him. And one day, after some long discussion, you know, that actually discussing with artists is a very painful. Yeah, because, you know, artists don't understand technology and the design, and they don't actually give a shit on it. Anyway, so after a long discussion, I needed some fresh air. I got very frustrated and I got headache. So I went out to the office. I went out to his studio. It's a beautiful studio. It's a huge, beautiful. So, but I went out to the downtown of the small town in China. By small town in China means 2 million people. Yeah. Anyway, and then I just strolled across the street, and this is what I saw at the little town of China. You know, just I can go on and on, right? Yeah. Everyone, literally, almost everyone, okay, hold these big SLR cameras. Right. Wow. Now, imagine 1 billion Chinese population, okay, begin to take photography seriously. From the probabilistic point of view, do I have any chance to become a photographer and make money and be famous? No. Yeah. So I gave up my dream. Yeah. So after I retired, I got a new job, not as a photographer. Okay, now I work for the Korean government. Right? Now, but this experience is a kind of nightmare. I call it China shock. Okay? Made me to think about the fundamental issues, fundamental structure between content and media and platform. See, 1 billion Chinese create contents, okay? And they upload their photograph and video to the internet. And the rest of the world, people like us, we consume the contents on some platform. It could be PC or the smartphone or whatever. Okay? So this is a kind of fundamental structure for any kind of contents. For example, take an example of literature. Novel, okay, by an author is a content, and the book by a publisher is a media, and the bookstore or the library or Amazon.com, okay, their platform. Similarly, movies, okay, movie contents, okay, that's the content, and distributor like Sony, Columbia, they are media, and theater, that's a platform. Music the same, okay, songs, they are content. And it used to be cassette tape, that has gone now, right? It's a media. Nowadays, it's a digital files now, as a media. And Sony Walkman, does anyone have Sony Walkman anymore? Yeah, we don't use them anymore. Anyway, the Sony Walkman is a platform. Now the platform has changed to the service like iTunes. Okay? That's a platform. Now coming back to these Chinese photographers, if 1 billion Chinese people just put up the photograph on Instagram or the Facebook, who make the money? Does each individual Chinese person get rich by selling his photograph? No, they don't make any money. Who makes money? Who become famous? Right. You know do you know Andy Warhol? His the pop art, the pioneer, the Andy Warhol, once said that, he said, everybody will get famous for 15 minutes. It's a very interesting remark. He made this remark 40 years ago. Yeah, very futuristic remark. So now, that's good. But how are we going to just make the system to make every individual that contribute to the content, okay, get some financial reward and some societal recognition? That's really the question. Now, for the next 10 minutes, let's take a look at the art world, because art is an interesting and fun sub. Okay? In the art world, platform is typically gallery or museum. That's where we actually appreciate the artwork. So let's take the example of museum. I love going museum very much. I go to the museum to appreciate the masterpiece like this. It's really very, very moving and touching experience to visit museum and watch all these masterpieces. Sometimes I go to museum to be challenged, to be challenged myself. Yeah. Sometimes I go to museum just for fun, just for relaxation. Nowadays, the museums are like a department store. You are completely blocked from the outside. Okay? You can only just see the inside. Okay? So you are supposed to be lost inside. That's what the museum guys actually want us to do. Okay? Lost the way out. Once you are inside the museum, you can hardly find a way out. Like a department store, you admire the artwork even if you don't understand them. Right? Like a department store, you can find a very good restaurant and very good bookstores and some marketplace these days. You go to Louvre Museum, there are fantastic shops, okay, around. Like a department store, well-known museums are very crowded. Sometimes you don't actually see the artwork itself. You just only see the audience, people, just like this. So especially on weekends, it's just like a department store, the bargain sale period, right? On the weekend, during some blockbuster, the show, it's just it's basically just the audience that you can only see. You don't have much access to the artwork itself. It's good. It is not really bad because you can regard the audience as an art piece. Yeah. Because the audience react very interesting way in the museum. Okay? Like this. And some people try to imitate the artwork. And looking at the patterns of the spectators, very, very interesting. Trying to figure out what that art is all about. Just the people just try to pee. Well, it's just interesting to see how the people react inside the museum. Each and every artwork has a label, some explanation in it, right? Like here at the bottom, yeah, some label in there. So usually those labels that explain what the art is all about, labels play the secondary role. The primary role is, of course, is the artwork itself. So this label, they are just meaningless without the artwork itself. But however, sometimes people don't look at the art, they just look at the label and leave the spot. It's interesting. There is another interesting object in the museum. The museum security guards. That's a beautiful artwork, like this. Isn't it beautiful? Yeah. So whenever I go to the museum, I usually take the photograph of the museum guidance, not the artwork. So I introduced the artwork, and the role of artwork, and the role of the meaning of audience, and the labels, and security guards. You know, these things comprises the museum environment, and they do not exist independently. They are related one way or another. For example, there is always a tension between the guard and audience. Okay, the guard try to protect, you know, the museum quiet, and also the last object that I would like to mention. Every museum, of course, has a toilet, and also each and every museum has its own distinctive characteristics on toilet. If you're the expert in museum, by looking at the photograph of the toilet, then you could recognize what museum is that the toilet is on. However, I mentioned about the toilet and the artwork and the audience and the labels and the security guard. But whenever I watch the visual digital art, I feel that the digital art doesn't just naturally fit into the existing museum. Okay? So I don't think the museum is the best platform for digital art or digital contents. So digital content if the museums are not the ideal platform to exhibit, then what would be the best scenario, okay, for the digital contents or digital art to be delivered to the audience? Now, this is not simple matter. Okay? It is related to how the rest of the world changes and evolves. So let's talk about now the fourth industrial revolution. Okay? Some of the material that I'm going to present today may overlap with my first keynote speech that I delivered 2 years ago, but a small portion of it. So, fourth industrial revolution. What is the essence? AI, drones, Internet of Things, data, robots, smart factories. There are too many of them. Well, one way of interpret the Industrial Revolution is interpret the Industrial Revolution in the context of human-machine interaction. Okay? Before the first Industrial Revolution, the machine used to be a very simple thing, right? Shovels and nail and hammer, those kind of things. But after the Industrial Revolution, the tools has evolved to become so-called machine, very complex machines. And then the second revolution, the machines, humans now got surrounded with a machine. So the machines has become environment. Okay. And then the third industrial revolution, the concept called the cybernetics. Do you know what the cybernetics means? Cybernetics means that when we human interact with the machine, we change it. We change the status of the machine. Okay. We change the environment. But that's not all. The environment will change human. That's the concept of the cybernetics. It's a kind of feedback loop between the human and environment. Right. And then fourth industrial revolution, now we talk about symbiosis. Symbiosis between human and machines. Right. So that's one way to interpret the industrial revolution. There would be another way of interpret the industrial revolution in terms of energy. So, but I will skip that part. Okay, energy. We can look at the progress of industrial revolution in terms of the energy changes. And also, there is another way of interpreting the industrial revolution in terms of the social spirit or the cultural spirit, right? Or the change of the art style, starting from the classicism, okay, before the industrial revolution, and then appearance of romanticism right after the first industrial revolution, and then the appearance of the modernism, so-called, okay, which coincide with the period of the second industrial revolution, and then in the 1970s, post-modernism, okay, which is coincide with the third industrial revolution, and so and so. But however, I'd like to take a look at interpret the industrial revolution from iconographic point of view. What is iconography? Iconography is the picking. Basically, we interpret the some social behavior or social circumstance by interpreting images, examining the images. So, but I'm going to just take a very simple view. First industrial revolution. You just Google, okay, and the first industrial revolution, what you probably would get is the image like, image like this, and this is a very popular image of the first industrial revolution. But however, the best pick that represent the first industrial revolution would be this painting. This is a painting by the English painter William Turner. He painted this painting in early 1800, so 19th century. This is a warship. This is a warship, a beautiful warship that used to rule the Atlantic Ocean during the Great Victorian era. Now, the ship completed its mission and sailing against the Thames River for retirement, but the ship was pulled by this small, ugly, black boat, steam engine. Right? The rumor says that the spectators, including the Queen Victoria, shed tears in front of the painting. So that actually epitomized the end of the agricultural area and the beginning of the first industrial revolution. And similarly, second industrial revolution, you can search the Google image like that, and from the art world, so-called the futurism, that they try to express speed and dynamicity and the expansion of space, okay, in variety of ways. And they envisioned human itself also change in time, okay? And behavior also changes in time very, very rapidly. And if you visit the Paris Modern Art Museum, then you can see this gigantic painting that illustrate how the world changes due to electricity. Third industrial revolution. Well, I couldn't find any representative artwork that effectively show the third industrial revolution, but I found this image from the Time magazine cover. So the Time magazine nominate the Person of the Year. Okay? But in 1982, it was not human, but the computer. But important thing, take a look at the subtitle. The subtitle says that the computer moves in. What does that mean? Computer moves in. Where? Computer moves into our home, right? The computer moves in our home means now computers are not appliance. Okay? Computers are not furniture. They are the member of our family. That's what this title is talking about. Even more dramatic image appears 20 years later. In 2017, this is the cover of Times. It declares, the Time magazine declares you. You means us, okay, everybody here, as the person of the year. It shows a computer in the background, making sure that the individual empowerment is credited to computer. So computer empowers us. Okay. From now on, everyone, even if we are not rich, even if we don't have the political power, everyone can not only access the information, but also express our whatever we want to express, okay, very effectively. So right after this Time magazine cover, we have seen many of the social activities like this. So the first industrial revolution, I can summarize the basic tendency with 3 tendencies. The one, it used to be the computer, and inside a computer we program, it's an algorithm, right? That actually make the computer powerful. But not anymore. It's not algorithm, it's basically the data, okay, that makes computer powerful. Okay, data power dominates us. Second, digital wants an abstract thing. The digital is an abstract thing, a concept. But now, digital becomes physical. Every object now has some digital data and the digital algorithm inside the physical object. The third is a network. The thing is that who created network? It's us, human, okay? Human created network. Now, the network creates us. What that means? For example, if Facebook changes its algorithm a little bit, then the way we communicate, the way we make friends will change. Okay, so the network is trying to influence us, and they create the way we interact with each other. It's a kind of scary thing. Okay? So, all in all, this is a summary. Okay? The first industrial revolution used to be mechanical, second electrical, third computing. Now the fourth industrial revolution is a little more complicated. You get data and AI, which is an algorithm, and the network. It's a kind of abstract thing. They penetrate the physical object. Okay? These abstract things penetrate the physical object and control our world. So this is a very complicated situation, but we can summarize the whole thing as the hybrid. Okay? Hybrid means what? Okay. Putting different entities and make one complete thing, okay, that actually complement each other and try to create the better solution or the better experience. Okay. So I will just go very quickly. But now, important thing is that the concept of hybrid is not completely new. Okay, we used to experience the hybrid approach already. Hybrid between the analog and digital, hybrid between the hardware and software, hybrid between the algorithm and data. It basically just depends on the ratio, okay? How much hardware you want to rely or how much the software you want to rely. So it's a kind of arbitrary mixture. And hybrid between the real, virtual, hybrid between the culture and technology, and what's more important is a hybrid between the human and machine. So maybe in 10 years later or 20 years later from now, okay, the time cover, we may be able to see the magazine cover like this. Okay. Person of the year, they, okay, not us anymore, they. And the subtitle, yes, they. Okay? They control the knowledge age. Okay? Welcome to their world. The problem is that they will not be as smart as human. That's really the problem. Yeah. Now, so in the future, and even today, there are three kinds of people on Earth. First kind of people, those group of people who owns the machine, like government, like Amazon, like Google, Facebook, or Instagram. Okay? They control the machine. And second category, the green category, those who can do what machines cannot do. And the third category, the people who must do what machines do not want to do. So which category do you want to belong? Which is the worst case scenario? Let's take a look at more detail. Scenario number one. It's kind of exponential or the long tail situation. Majority of people fall into the red category. Means that majority of people make their living by doing what computer do not want to do, right? And only the small portion of the people, they control the world by owning the machine, okay, like a big government, big brother, or the big companies. And in between, again, the small portion of the people will enjoy their lives by doing what computer cannot do. Can you give me an example, the thing that the computer cannot do? All right, that's a good example. Yes, like relaxing, right? Yeah, and respecting, encouraging. Yes, those kinds of things the computer will never do, or the creating something new. Right? However, this model is a kind of dystopia model. I'm not the first person that actually proposed this model. Long time ago, do you know the writer Aldous Huxley? Yeah, he wrote a novel, Brave New World. Okay, that's his futuristic anticipation, and we may experience that kind of world sooner or later. However, if we try hard, we can change the situation around. Here, this is a typical Gaussian curve where the small portion, okay, they do what computers do not want to do, and the small portion, they own the powerful machine, but majority of people enjoy their lives by doing what computer cannot do. Okay, this would be the future that we should anticipate and we should create. The role of government is clear. The government should create two fences, okay, or the dam. Okay, one is a welfare, okay, so that the curve doesn't go, okay, to the left side, and on your right is a regulation, okay, to protect the people from greedy, big, giant companies. Welfare and regulation, the government role. But that's not enough, in fact. There is a technology should come in and play a very active role. Well, actually, there are the three ways that the technology can contribute. First, push. Okay? Yeah, push from the left. This red arrow. For example, okay, reduce air pollution, for example, and reduce CO2, alleviate global warming, okay, like that. And also, the technology should be able to push from the left, okay, okay, by providing, for example, like open source software, for example, so that the people like us can create a new job and a new opportunity. And also, technology have another role, which actually try to shift the Gaussian curve from left to right for the better income and the better economy. So three different roles. So the number one, R&D for public welfare and sustainability. And second, R&D to create the industry platform. And third, R&D for industrial innovation, the three roles. And design, again, yes, of course, design has a role. First, green arrow Okay? Pushing, shifting the entire curve from left to right, and providing some shelter, okay, that tries to the curve not falling down to the left, and again pushing from the right. The green one, that's the kind of traditional, the conventional design, right? Like industrial design or the visual design and the interface design. Most of our design effort fall into that category. But furthermore, the red one, we may call it public design, okay, for the public sustainability. For example, universal design, right? Some design principle that actually target the elderly people, okay? Or different culture, the cultural design, and affordable design, environmental design, green design, or those kind of things. And from the left to right, the blue arrow, okay, we may call it meta design. Meta design means that design that make general public participate the act of designing. For example, creating living lab, right? So that everybody can come and do their stuff, okay, by themselves. Okay. And role of art, well, the art is not meant to be purposeful, but it would be nice if art itself motivate design and technology to act right. So this is my last slide. What will be the social implication of all of what I have talked about? You know, when you create something, when you design something, or when you develop something, you need to verify that what you have designed, what you have created, what you have developed, it works well as you intended. So that is a test bed, okay? So long time ago, 200 years ago, during the first industrial revolution, what was the platform for your design and for your artwork and for your engineering work? It was factory, okay? Whatever you created, it works well in the factory, then you are blessed. You make money and you get famous. And the place that you do that was called industrial complex. We still have industrial complex in many places. And the second industrial revolution, where was the test bed? What was the test bed? Unfortunately, it was war and battlefield. So if you can create technology that kill more people efficiently with less price, okay, then you make money and you get famous, right? And the place that you do your design work and you do engineering work, it is called technology park. And third industrial revolution, the driving force, the test bed, happens to be the capitalism. That's where we exercise our design and we exercise our engineering skills. And the place that you create exercise is called the Silicon Valley. Even if you don't work at Silicon Valley, the chances that you work for some valley, right? Even if the place is pretty much flat. Okay? We really aim and admire the concept of the valley, the Silicon Valley. The first industrial revolution, I hope, according to what I have said, the design of technology and design of government and the role of government and the role of design and the role of technology has to be the democracy would be the test bed, and where that creativity and where does the engineering skill got exercised, it's going to be everywhere. Okay? Just a city. So I call smart urbanity. Okay? By anyone, everywhere, anytime. So that's my the conclusion, and by combining the technology and design and the art, and doing their own each role in the first industrial revolution, and we should build the Gaussian distribution. And the Gaussian distribution is what the democracy is all about, and some systematic way of accomplishing the Gaussian distribution, the systematic way of doing things by combining the technology and design and art would be the ultimate, the goal for the culture technology. And thank you very much. Yeah.
As Professor Won mentioned, we all can benefit from new emerging technology. For example, 80% of this conference preparation we have done by online communication between many organizations in many countries. Thank you very much. Okay, we welcome questions.
Thank you for your insightful lectures, and I was very moved by your thinking. But let me ask you a simple question than your lecture. You focused, when you visit the museum, you mentioned you focused on the security guard and the people who visit the museum. So would you tell us how did you come to have a different perspective like that? Because most ordinary people visit a museum to see artworks, but you saw differently, right? I think this kind of perspective is the starting point for creativity. So my question is, how can you have a better creativity? Yeah, that's my question.
Well, I guess my personal, the experience is that just bring the digital camera all the time, and bring the notebook all the time so that you can just write at any place, anytime. And then just go, try to go the places that you are not familiar with. And that's my, just a, small advice. But yeah, that's my, my experience. But I have just one more slide, and I wanted to write a textbook, okay? And containing what I actually talked about today, and I urge all of you to participate in the writing the textbook, so that we can transfer our knowledge to the future generation, the young college students. My proposal. Yeah.
Thank you.
Please give him a big hand. And next, we would like to welcome you all to have a coffee break prepared by Siam Bayshore Hotel. And after that, we will start the next keynote speaker session. Okay, we're going to have 10-minute breaks. Please welcome for a nice coffee break. He received PhD in electrical engineering from Tokyo Institute of Technology under the Japanese government scholarship. His research interests include speech and language processing, human-machine interaction, and recently, massive open online courses. Dr. Chai's research work includes several international collaborative projects in a wide area of speech and language processing. He has been a project technical leader of the NASDA Massive Online Courses System, supported by the Office of Basic Education Commission and Office of Higher Education Commission in Thailand. He has been selected one of 66 young leaders shaping Thailand's future by Bangkok Post in 2013. And he has got a runner-up Outstanding Technologist Award in 2015. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Dr. Chai Wuttiviwat Chai.
Sawadee krab. Thank you very much for coming today and welcome to Pattaya. On behalf of National Electronics and Computer Technology Center, I think I am here giving a talk on Thailand digital cultures. It's something that actually is quite different from ICT background of myself, but I has been passionate by some of my colleagues, Dr. Tepachai and many staff here. They try to introduce ICT into the area of culture for over a decade. It's really hard actually to say that when government was asked to give a funding to this area, it's very hard. It's very difficult. You can imagine about the digital culture preservation. What is the value of that activities? That's often always problems, questions from the government. I remember last 5 years and I tried to get funding from another ministry, and I got rejected from that proposal just because they said, again, you are trying to build the digital contents. What is the value of digital contents? Can you show me? I say, it's a long run of value getting from digital contents, especially digital culture. You will see, but I have no information other than that my expectation only. So until today, I think the digital culture becomes more important and more important, especially when we introduce data analytics into the digital content of cultures. They start to see the values the benefits of having these kinds of contents. And you know that nowadays, people who hold the data, the contents, is the one who hold the world, right? And for each country, they try to collect their own cultures, their own contents. And you can make a lot of benefits from that ownership. I think my team has this passions for a long time, and they try to keep doing that job for a decade using small budget, sparse budget. Until now, I can say that this is the first talk that I can give to the international to say the history of our work on Thailand digital cultures. May I pay respect to my previous boss, Dr. Viraj Soler Lamwanit, who is the first one that talking about digital culture of Thailand, and he called it digitized Thailand. You can find that website still on digitized plus d thailand.org. You can find lots of information of his expectation for the next 2 decades of Thailand if we have the digital culture contents in hand. I follow that idea, but different ways of working. That's why NECTEX become one of the part of digital culture in Thailand, and I would like to introduce about this project in this talk. That one. Okay. Thinking about the culture of Thailand, what are you thinking about? It's a land of smile. It doesn't mean that we always happy. No. Sometimes it means that we have nothing to say. And sometimes we are really make ourselves relax. If Thai people say yes, it doesn't mean yes. You have to recheck. Sometimes they have nothing to say and they say yes. That's Thai culture. So we always smile. That's good. That's good. But just recheck. Another big culture of Thai, I always use this idea in many talks. This is the name of Bangkok, the full name of Bangkok. And you can follow. I can read for you. We call Bangkok, but actually it's, in short, it's the first two syllables. Krungthep. But the full name is กรุงเทพมหานครอมรรัตนโกสินทร์มหินทรายุทธยามหาดิลกภพนพรัตน์ราชธานีบุรีลมย์อุดมราชนิเวศมหาสถานอมรพิมานอวตารสถิตสักขทาธิยะวิษณุกรรมประสิทธิ์ Every people in Thailand can read that and can remember all of the full name of Bangkok just because of one famous singer used this as a song, so we can remember really well. Okay, if you love Thailand, you try to remember that name of Bangkok. That's the culture of Bangkok. Very long tails. Sometimes we say yes, it doesn't mean yes. That's the coming back to the outline of my talk. I give a little bit about the definition of the digital cultures, and then go to the digital culture platform projects, a long tails of works that we still going on, and we have built our digital culture platform called Nawanulak platform, and I give you an example of our application called Museum Pool. Okay, UNESCO give the definition of culture like this: set of distinctive spiritual, materials, intellectual, and emotional features. This is very important. They said, in addition to arts and literatures, in addition to lifestyles, ways of living together, value system, tradition, and beliefs, they say in addition, it means that still a lot of things that can combine as a culture. Sometimes even emotional features, also some of the cultures that surprise. But that's the real definition of culture given by UNESCO. The importance of the cultures can be shown by the growth of the number of museums in Thailand. You can see here. In the lower lines that comes stable is the national museums, but a lot of new museums coming up from the local communities, non-profit organizations, from temples, from communities, private organizations, etc. The problem is that when they would like to have museums and they would like to expose, to present their museums to the societies, to the internet, they have very little digital literacy. So it's a problem about tools and digital literacy to make the museum visible for people in the country. So that's become the idea of introducing the technologies to build effective tools for managing digital culture contents, and especially for collection, preservation, accessibilities. This is again the definition of the digital preservation given by UNESCO. It is an active management of digital contents over time to ensure ongoing process. Specifically speaking, we try to convert the cultures, whatever, tangible, intangible, into digital contents, so we can manage it, we can preserve it. And for digital culture, it's actually the combination of IT and the cultural heritage knowledge. And if we can combine these two things, we can make lots of benefits. From the IT side, nowadays you can see a lot of modern techniques like software, virtual realities, augmented realities, robots, drones, social medias. Those things can be used in surrounding of the cultures to make it more attractive, to make it more interesting for people to visit museum, to visit the sites. So if we have that kinds of attractive tools, we can increase or benefit the tourism, education, and so on and so forth. Deeper speaking, I think if we can convert everything into digital forms and we can make the digital content more attractive and accessible, you can use those digital contents for research easier. You can make the travel more effective. You can make a new software, applications. You can use it for education easier. And especially, we would like to have it more valuable in terms of e-commerce. Right? OTOP means the one tambon, one products. One tambon is mean one district, one products. This is a campaign of Thai government to have for each district having one outstanding products. So that's actually a benefit if we can make the digital culture. Now, I would like to talk a bit about the what we have done. Okay, that's the previous slide is the idea of the concept of the digital cultures. Now coming back to the digital culture platform projects, we have conduct this project since 2012. It's about 7 years now. And the project objective is to preserve cultural heritage through digital media and content. We would like to increase recognition of the digital preservation. And along the digital preservation, we can make a lot of collaborations. We can make the network among communities, domestically, international, and especially for the digital preservation communities. We can enhance the utilization of data for local communities such as I said, for tourism, for e-commerce, education, and so on. Okay, this is the idea that I give to the team, to my colleagues many years ago, that this is the complete pictures that I would like to see. Let's see if we would like to make the digital culture as a center of the archive of Thailand. The first thing is that there are so many organizations already collect digital contents, especially for the cultures. For example, in the square, in the square on the top right, those are some centers that already collect some cultural contents in the digital forms. Cultural Information Center, Princess Mahachakri Silinthorn Anthropology Centers, Red Cross, Royal Societies, National Museums, National Libraries. Those, they already have projects that try to convert the what we call literatures, what we call cultural informations into digital contents already. So the first idea is that we try to get permissions. We try to get permissions, G2G, to gather those data. Can you think about the difficulties of having those permissions? It's really hard, because every organization says that these are valuable stuffs for them, and they cannot share easily, right? So the first thing is that we're trying to talk with our good partners. Those are some good partners that we can gather some data, not all data, but some data together as a center of archive of the digital contents. So we call it the National Archive. It's actually not together, but to link data. So we harvest the metadata of each accessible database from those centers and make e-culture portal. Then we would like to build the e-culture portal accessible by the applications, whatever applications that would like to access to this open data. Just only open data that get permission from the centers can be shared. So we build that in the right areas that we already have that. We use some tools for open data API. We develop some showcase of applications. We build the e-culture portals, and we know that still there are lots of unseen, lots of non-digitized cultural data from local communities. So we start to build again this e-culture service platform. This is called Nawanulak. This is a free service for local communities to digitize, to collect their data into this website. And the ways that we do is that we introduce standards that get along with the National Archives. So we introduce some standards and motivate them to encourage them to use this website for building their digital cultural websites. And we start to do that for, I think, for more than 5 years. Okay. So this is the big pictures. And if we can gather those unseen, non-digitized data, and we make a link open data with the e-culture portals that get the National Archive into that, we can make even bigger and bigger digital contents of culture in Thailand. We still keep going on, working on that, and we give the name of this system, Nawanulak, is mean Nawa means new or innovations, Anulak means preservations. So it's new ways of preservation. This is a little bit about history of our system or our project. As I said, that we start since 2012. We have, at that time, it's only the archive system, a simple archive system. And in 2013, we make it more complete. It becomes the content management system, CMS. And we apply this CMS to some national centers like Red Cross and Ministry of Education, for example. In 2016, we expand this CMS system as a web service. So we called it, the first time that we called it Anulak platform. Anulak platform has been used, has been funded by the Thailand Research Fund and has been used by several more organizations. It's become easier and easier to use it, and people can, even people from non-IT areas can understand and use it easily. And in 2019, this year, we renamed it Nawanulak platform to make it more unique, because the Anulak names is a common words. We can extend the number of users, organizations to more than 70 organizations now. And the data gathered in this system are more than 10,000 items now. In 2019, we try to add more features to the systems. Now we try to think about the utilization of the data. Because we have quite bigger and bigger archive, but how can we make values of those contents? Sometimes it's not easy because it's really like official data. It's not attractive sometimes. So how can we make that more attractive? That's the way that we try to introduce into 2019 systems, Nawanulak platform. These are some good partners. I can point out like TRF is the Thailand Research and Innovation Fund, who is the major funding of this project. We have the content providers like Princess Sirinthorn Anthropology Centers Museum Siam, and so many universities that help us as a workforce to digitize, to collect the data. As I said, the current users are more than 70 organizations. We have more than 10,000 items, and the number of access are those. And mainly, we place role a lot on the north of Thailand and central north of Thailand. We are now trying to extend our activities to northeastern and also to the center of Thailand. These are some pictures of our activities. The left one is the meeting with the Chiang Mai branch of culture organizations, and the right one is a meeting with Lampang branch of tourism organizations, tourism authority of Thailand. And we keep trying to make values from the data, as I said. And this is not easy again, because as I said, that the digital contents of culture sometimes is quite non-attractive, it's too much official. So how can we make it more attractive? One way is to introduce hackathon activity like this and ask IT people to try using the open data API of this Navanrak platform and build new applications that are more attractive to the users. So the first hackathons was last September, and we got a good application developers from those contests. These are some user examples of users, right? Mostly they are temples, local communities, local museums. Let's say Ket Kalam temples. This is in Chiang Mai, and the bottom right is the Bo Sang umbrella communities. That is a very famous one. And they are quite happy to have a Navanrak platform to help them making the digital contents of their cultural data. These are some users in Lampang province. It's another province next to Chiang Mai. So a lot of different objects like the place, the objects, the statues, so many things, literatures. Okay, so we keep, along with the projects, we keep understand more and more different kinds of cultural objects. It's not only objects, but sometimes it's intangible. So how can we digitize those intangible cultural data is also one challenging that we face along the project. This is a famous Khon performance of Thailand, and that's the Ayutthaya universities help us to digitize the Khon performance by building the 3D animations of this Khon. This is also another interesting archive by the administration court. They have a lot of documentaries on laws and cases. So we help them digitize these documents into our archive. Book palms. Book palm is something that quite unique, because it doesn't mean it is an object, but actually it's the story inside the book palms. And it's really old. So we have to really careful working with the book palms, especially for the ancient book palms. So we need some experts who can understand the language, the ancient language, and understand the culture, the contents inside. So now I think for each book palms in many areas, we cannot find expert easily. Normally they are really old people, hard to understand, and never have digital literacies on that. So we have to help them working with digitizing the book palms. So for the book palms, we not only capture the pictures of that, but we try to translate the story inside the book palms into today's language. So that's really challenging. The biggest collection of Navanulak network is by the Ministry of Culture. We help them since, I think this is since 2000, maybe 2010 or 2009, working on the Cultural Knowledge Center of the Ministry of Culture. Here we have more than they have more than 100,000 items gathered about the cultures or the festivals or any cultural objects from 77 provinces in Thailand. And collections are quite static. It's about 10 years now, but the collection is still really static. So we just got a request to update this data just this year. So we hope that okay, 1 decade now pass, we can make an update of this data. And still, after 10 years, we still have seen so many unclean data in these 100,000 items. Sometimes officers who collect the data don't care about the quality of the data, and they just make it duplicate, something like that. So we have to introduce AI, data analytics, into this big data to understand, to get more knowledge from this data. And luckily that our team is not only understand the digitization, but they have some expert on the language processing and AI and computer visions. So they can introduce some new technologies to help data cleansing. So this is the overall workflow of our activities when we try to, if we have touch with the new communities and we start to help them digitizing their cultural data. Then we start with collections, digitization, management, data integration and analysis, and finally visualizations and trying to make it as an open data API. But we cannot do it ourselves. So the first step always to find partners in those areas. And mostly we get good partners from universities or college in those areas. Like this is the, we would like to make digital contents of Don Kao Temple. We asked Chiang Mai University to help that. So we train students, train the teachers in the cultural areas to understand more about the IT, to understand how to use the Navanulak platform, and ask them to help us digitize the data. This is non-technical college. Also, we help them to understand how can they use the equipment to digitize the data. And these is the process of collection. When they understand the way to use equipment, they start to digitize the data by firstly they have to clean the objects. For example, like books, they have to clean the books and then register and then digitize. This is the picture of students about 12 to 15 years old to help the Red Cross, to help building the data for Red Cross Youth Museum. This is some pictures of the collection from Red Cross archive that we help them to do in Navanulak platform. The next step is digitizations. You can see that sometimes we got a lot of monks to help. And they are keen to use that, especially for young monk. They can understand the digital equipment easily, comparing to old monks. So I think they are happy to do that. So this is Sai Mun Mueang Temple from Chiang Mai province and Kukam Temple in Nan province. You can see that very simple equipment, just the camera and the cover and the light that we install in that to make the objects more clear when we capture by the camera. Book palms, again, you can see those. This man is the expert on the book palms. So he knows that how can they flip each book palms. Sometimes it's not left to right, sometimes it's right to left, but they have to understand. So we cannot do it ourselves. We have to ask experts, and many times the shortage of experts is a problem. As I said, that the standard of digital archive is very important. So we try to align with the international standard. For example, the cultural materials for museums, we all often use CDWA standard. For digital archive, we use ICCT, for example. So in this way, we can make the system shareable among local communities and also international communities. Data management is very easy because we build an Navanulak platform to be easily used by non-IT people. And after they digitize data, collect it into the Navanulak platform, suddenly they can have the website easily, because we already have the administration, back-end, front-end, so they start to have their website on that. It's like a web service. And also, this is the open API. They can select which object is permitted to be opened. And now, when we have more and more archive for many communities, we ask them to give us a permission to make link open data. So sometimes the objects from different areas can be linked by many aspects, right? Periods, the same kinds of arts, the same areas, for example. So we can make a link open data from many archive, more than 70 organizations that we got archive on that. So I think we can build new knowledge from having this archive collect together, and link open data can do that. Visualization is another feature that is very important for Navanulak platform. We provide a lot of way to visualize the data. This is simple one that show each object one by one, and it's searchable. They can search, users can search for the same kinds of objects, or the same periods of objects, or the same arts of objects. And this is the way that we help people to make visualization on 360 object animations. And easily they can do by themselves by capturing still image. And the system will render automatically to have 360 animations of the objects. This is also the key features of our Navarulak platforms, that it provides exhibition from the platform. The user, the administrator can build exhibition from their own digital archives. For example, they can show exhibition on the similar period, or they can show the exhibition of the same kinds of arts, for example. So we provide those features in the platform as well. As I said, the system have front end and back end. So the back end can be accessed by the people that understand our system, that we train, the trainer, so they can manage their own systems. And the front end can be selected in many ways. They can do quite freely in terms of the front end. This is the picture of the front end systems. And the back end system now accept 4 kinds of cultural data. The first one is archive. The second one is museum. And the third one is literatures. And the last one is, I cannot remember, it's 3 exhibition, okay? Exhibition doesn't mean always the cultures, right? Sometimes the expo also can use these kinds of software to build their own exhibition, online exhibitions. So it's not necessary to attach with the culture only. This is the management system, backend management system, that they can input the objects one by one into the system. This is the collections of the data behind the management system. Okay, I think those are some examples that I show you the features of the Navarulak platform. And we hope that this data can make lots of impacts from now on. These are some impact that we expect to have to support conservation of cultural heritage, to support education and knowledge exchange, to support cultural tourism and adding value to cultural products, and to support community-based activity and get the participatory from local experts, especially for local experts. They would like to have their knowledge last long. Now, about utilization of data. These are some ways of data utilizations. You can see that AR or holograms or 3D printing, these are things that can be built from the digital data that we have by non-IT people. This is actually from the cultural students in Ratchapat, Chiang Mai. Yes, and tourism applications, that one is built by students from tourism faculties in Burapha universities. So these are non-IT people, but they can use this system easily. We have another applications that help non-IT people to collect data. It's called Deun Thung Mobile. This is the data collection apps that use this mobile phone, just only one mobile phone to collect the data. And also we have the travel routing management that help the communities to make the travel routes for tourism. And last but not least, this is the newest one that my teams try to introduce the way to utilize data. It is gamifications. Make the data more funny, but by the introduce the game like this. This is the matching of two pictures games. So they call fun park creators. This is the newest one. And we hope that these kinds of utilization tools can make the Navanulak platform more attractive. Okay, those about the Navanulak platform. That's actually the back end of our e-culture systems. But as I said that we have e-service, e-culture service system, we have portal, we have open API, and we would like people to build application on top of those archive, so we can make values of those digital contents. We also do ourselves one applications called Museum Pool. This is to help the museums to use their data on the digital archive on the Navanulak platform and make it as a museum guide in physical museums. What our colleagues found in museum is that it's sometimes the object has no explanation or very short explanation. Sometimes lack of staff to explain about those objects. And sometimes some museum have mobile applications only for that particular museums. So they would like to build, our team would like to build a museum guide that is better than what we already have normally. Okay? In traditional museum guides, you can see that is a traditional one. Translators, you can borrow from the counters of the museums, and then you can walk through the museums and listen to the audios. Sometimes they have applications, you have AR, but this is stick to only one museum. The Museum Pool is the applications that try to gather all contents in a single application. And this single application can be used for every museums that align with our standard. And they can be, the Museum Pool is application, so we can use it in many kinds of devices. And we can also have reports, statistics of visitors, can have a statistic of point of interest that people stop and looking at those objects. So they keep every log of the visitors when they visit the museums. How can we do that? Because we have the localizations, indoor locations, outdoor locations. We use indoor location in many ways, like QR code. If they point the QR code, scan the QR code, so we collect that they understand, they are interested in this object. Or they can use Bluetooth or NFC to understand the route that the visitor are looking at in the museum. For outdoor, many times we try to link museum to museums, so we understand the route of their interest in the kinds of travel routes. We try to introduce this application to some museums already. So we have a collection of museums in the Museum Pool application already. You can see it. You can download it from the Play Store or on the iOS. Do we have iOS yet? Yes, we have both iOS and Android. And we try to introduce this one to our neighbors as well. As you can see that this is the Royal Palace Museum in Laos, Hmong Cultural Museum in Myanmar, Indonesian National Museum of Natural History. This is our good partners in ASEAN areas. Museum who also have their content management in terms of reporting, giving the statistic of user, of the visitors. And of course, they use the Navanulak platform as a backend for digital archive collections. The rest of these slides, I show some pictures of the museum pool working in many areas in Thailand. This is some activities that we work in Thailand, in Myanmar, in Bagan, and this is the Bagan Pagoda digitization process. Okay, they have audio recording process. They have object digitization process. In Bagan, again, Myanmar is very active, so they expect to use our system in at least 20 sites in Myanmar. So that's a really good partners in using these systems. And this is just a picture that I show you that when the visitor walk along the museums, they have route maps of the visitors. So we can analyze the behavior of the visitors. So we can make arrangement of the museum more effective. In Laos, in Vientiane capitals, you can see list of museums that start to interested in using our system as well. Vientiane in Luang Prabang. This is also in Indonesia that we visit, and they start to understand our system and trying to start to use our system. Okay. Actually, I think it's very long run projects. It's not only end at this 1 decade, maybe lifelong project. And right now, I try to pick a jigsaw of our achievement. Right now, we have a Navanulak platform, which provide e-culture service platform, provide the e-culture portals, provide web API, and we start to harvest archive from National Archive, from national libraries, from many centers. And we also have more than 50 local sites that start to use our e-culture service platform, so we can gather unseen, non-digitized data into this system, start to gradually increasing. And we have link open data standard ways to link between the service platform and this portal and the harvest data from the National Archive. And we have the museum pool, which is one in-house application that we built for physical museum to be used attached to these Navanulak platforms. I think last but not least, I would like to think about the utilizations again of the data. Because if we make it more larger and larger contents, how can we make valuable things from this archive? This is the key success index of these last long projects. So I try to connect with the Tourism Authority of Thailand, for example. We try to convince the Ministry of Culture to make values from these data. So, and that's it's very challenging for our teams but we're still going on. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Any questions, please?
Through Miss Wachira from NECTEC, I just knew that she was doing one single project. But today, through your presentation, I came to know is the main center in Thailand about the preserving cultural heritage. So, in our association, we have many professionals about the VR, virtual reality, and artificial intelligence. So, my question is, how about the plan of making cultural heritage in virtual reality format? Then it will be more comfortable and practical for the audience, the visitors. That's my first question. And one more suggestion is, what if we apply artificial intelligence for preserving cultural heritage? Then it can be more interactive and we can have a more intelligent interface with the visitors. And lastly, you said efficient management of big cultural data is a key issue now, right? Yes. So if you apply AI there, then we can get some help. This is just my suggestion.
Yeah, thank you. It's a good suggestion and also a good question. The first question is about how can we make VR more easier. This is the question that I give to the team as well. Maybe 3 years ago. I still don't have the answer back from my colleagues. It's very costly, right? It's very costly. So how can we make the system cost effective and can be used easier by non-IT people? VR is really hard, but AR start to be possible. I can answer just only this. I still waiting for the answers from my team as well. The second question is a comment and a really good comment. The first thing I think it's about data cleansing to use AI, right? AI can be used to make data cleansing. The second thing is that we would like to get new knowledge from linked data using AI. So the natural language processing team start to be involved in this project, tagging the names, entities of the documents, metadata, whatever having the text inside. And they try to use those name entity extraction to link together those data. And we hope that at least if the user would like to build exhibition about these people, they will have a long lines of the history of these people by using the link open data. This is the first way that we think about. The second way, I think about the computer visions, which of course we use AI for computer vision, for image understanding. Nowadays, image understanding getting better and better. So how can we make the system searchable by the image? So I see this, okay, this is, okay, it's a flute. I don't know the name of the flute, but I have seen it in somewhere. So how can we search those similar image and getting more data about that kinds of flute, for example? So I think these are some AI that can be introduced in this digital data.
The whole meaning of Bangkok, which consists of those long sentences.
I don't think I can give that the meaning of that names. We often use
because I love Bangkok.
I think we often use the compound words as a name. For example, like my surname. My surname is Vutti Viwatchai is 3 words actually. Wood means knowledge. Viwat mean development. Chai mean victory. So nothing's about knowledge development and victory. Nothing linked together, but those words are really like is a good words, so they connect together. Just like กรุงเทพมหานครมอรัตนโกสินทร์มหินทราช it's a kind of a lot of good words, so they link together, and mostly they talk about a good place, a very beautiful place, very high respect place, something like that.
Any more question, please? Okay. Thank you very much, Dr. Chai, for sharing the essential research of NECTEC in preserving Thailand's culture for the next generation. And please give him a big hand again. Thank you very much. For the last agenda in this opening session, I would like to invite Dr. Ratasit Sukhahut from Chiang Mai University to be our MC. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. For our last session, we would like to invite the keynote speakers and honorable chair on the stage. We would like to give the present of the ceremonial gift and appreciation letters to you to share your experience in this session. First of all, I would like to invite Professor Kim, PJ, on the stage, please. Okay, and now I would like to invite Dr. Chai Wuthi Viwat Chai from NECTEC to receive the token of appreciation from Professor Kim. Second, I would like to invite Professor Puchong Uttayopat from Kasetsart University. And third, I would like to invite Professor Sukiyama Kazuo on the stage, please. And fourth, I would like to invite Dr. Kwan Yoon Won for giving us the keynote this morning. Also, I would like to invite Dr. Thepchai Sapniti. Okay, and finally, I would like to invite Dr. Intiraporn Murasat from Kasetsart University. Okay, and I would like to invite all of those 6 people to take a photo together with Professor Kim. Yeah. Okay, please remain on the stage. Okay, and now I would like to welcome all ICCT committees to take a photo with our keynote speaker.